Hey, welcome to Uncover Sessions, a brand new podcast show. This is our first episode for the show, and just to introduce ourselves quickly, we are your random neighborhood discussions on a little bit about everything in life. And just a disclaimer, I'm sorry for my mono voice because of a slight problem with my headphones. But let's roll the intro. Now, wasn't that a nice intro?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not bad.
Hi, you both so fluent. Anyways, this is our test episode on the show, and we don't know if we have no direction on where things will go. So if this works out, then we will publish this. But first of all, I would like to thank Shiow Hui and Merissa for accepting the invitation on the show, although they were like forced to be here.
Yay. Wow.
So I posted a question tag on Instagram over the last week asking my followers what topic they'll be interested in if they were listening to a podcast. And a few of them has posted a question which I have choose for today's topic, which is related to one place that we used to go to, which is high school. Mostly about high school memories, high school dramas, and even the stereotyping between national and also international high school. I mean, I know Keng Hong, you're from international school, and Marissa, you're from. But Shao Wei, you haven't really told us much about your high school, have you?
Oh, it's a really it's a really dramatic school, I guess to say.
Wait, but one question. Your school is national, but it's private, right? And it's not government, right?
My campus used to be like mixed international and national. And then because some things happened, now they split it. Now it's just national and it's completely international. Yeah.
So you graduated as a national kid or international kid?
I graduated in the national field.
Oh, so you never touched like the international syllabus?
No, never touched it. Yeah.
Actually, actually, for me also actually, yeah, my secondary school was international, but then you may not have known, but then like during when was it? Form one, form two? Yeah, during my form one, form two, basically year seven and year eight, I don't know whichever you all prefer. It was actually international. It was actually under my school was actually under the national syllabus, but then once I reached form three, then it changed to international syllabus. So yeah lah, but mostly operated under an
Wait, so you basically been from Kebangsaan syllabus as in form one, form two, and switched to IGCSEs in year nine. Was it year nine?
yeah, year nine.
So even like your sejarah, you went from Malaysia to US.
What, not US? British lah, what US?
Oh yeah, IGs are British, not American. But like, how did you
IG
cope with the change though?
not well, especially for the English levels.
So there's like a change in the language you study in, as in for Form 1 and Form 2, like subjects for sejarah and also geography. Most of it is in BM.
It was in BM. It's not most of it.
So did you have to take geography in like year 9?
We still did I take did I take geography in form one? Form one, form two, I didn't have geography, but then form three there was geography. Oh yeah, but my BM syllabus was still the national syllabus. Since the national syllabus is harder than the international syllabus, we just continued through. So even so, that's why also I took SPM BM. I didn't do well, but I still
SPM
took.
PM also basically you took the paper that we all suffered also lah.
Yeah, yeah.
But if that's the case, wasn't it hard for you to cope or adapt to like the switch in language because you guys use so you guys don't really use much BM in school in international schools from what I heard from people around me, right? You guys don't speak much BM and your level isn't really there, right?
No, no, it's not. No, definitely not. Because compared to because like if you do national syllabus, you have more subjects in BM, so you'll get to know it better.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, we don't really have because for Form 1 to Form 3, we study geography and also sejarah in BM. But when we go on to Form 4 and Form 5, it's also more of an English, except if you're from the commerce stream, then you'll be studying in science. But I think for my school, we studied in English. Um, but in your case, Marissa, your
Yeah.
school is considered a very national school, very kebangsaan,
Yeah,
right?
very national, all the while national government. Yeah.
But one thing about your school though, it's I don't know if you know about this, but it's actually very well known, very popular among like the education field because like my school is actually quite considered quite close to your school because we are both situated in Pudu, and also like every time when is mentioned, the teachers will go like, "Whoa, oh, good for studies, good for co-curriculum, good for competition and everything."
Like you said, what people think is that our school will have very good education and like core curriculum. But for me, studying there, I think the education is not as good as you would think. You only think it's good because you can see the result. And for our school, we follow the national syllabus, right? And so everything is in BM, but our English is still, our science and maths is still in English. So for that part, I think that's why it's good. That's why people say it's good because it still remain English rather than BM. And for the education part, I think government schools are not not that well. The national syllabus is not that good compared to the IGs, I think. Um, so, but for like core curriculum stuff like that, I would say the government and the school doesn't provide much for us. Doesn't provide any money, any facilities. We all have to buy it ourselves, use our own money. But because it's right, then I think there's a lot of support from parents and also like those really famous people that that's why we got the support from them. Then we'll get sponsors, I guess. And also we we go to a lot of competitions. That's why we get money. That's where the money comes from too, and also from the students ourselves lah. So we have to pay a lot for a lot of stuff. If not, we wouldn't have that good of a curriculum.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
you don't pay school fees, right, when you study in.
Nope, we don't pay any school fees.
Yeah, so
Just only the basic.
that's like one perk of studying in like a national school. Wait, no, should I say more a government school? But I mean, I think Shiow Hui can relate with me because Shiow Hui, you're from considered as private, right? Is considered as private, right?
Definitely a private.
It's like we have to. I mean, for myself, I'm also from a private. We have to pay for the same syllables that they study in government schools,
Oh yeah.
right?
What are you all paying for?
Basically, tuition fees. Literally, we pay for tuition fees, lab fees. What else? Yeah, those kind of different kind of fees lah. Like even like tuition fees is already like what few 10K around there.
Oh, so like you're all paying for the facilities and also the teachers, I guess, because the teachers are better in private school compared to a national government school.
No, that's what people always say, it's like the stereotype of going to a private school. I mean, let's put aside international first. The stereotype of studying in a private school is that you get better education, you get better facilities, you have teacher with better quality. But the thing is, I don't really see the difference when I visit to maybe any national school, any government schools, because the thing is, for myself, I came from a high school which has not much of a facilities. The only facilities we had was a basketball court inside the auditorium and also a mini basketball court which we have at the basement. That's all the facilities we get. Other than that, it's like the IT lab and then the Kemahiran Hidup lab and the science lab. That's all. But I mean, yeah. Shiow Hui, what about like your school?
I think mine is like completely opposite of yours. Mine is like they say, oh, it's the best, it's everything is there, you get the best education and all that. But it's really, really different inside. Like you have everything inside, all the facilities there, but we aren't allowed to use it for some reason. We just aren't allowed to use it. So there's like no freedom for us at all, even though it's a private school. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But and like in government schools, the one thing that I always wanted to have, the one facility that I always wanted to have, that most government schools have is a field.
Yeah, actually, yes, we have a very, very big field, like 2 big fields. And yeah, we can do anything there.
I wanted a field for my whole high school life because I never had a field in my high school, and the only thing we had was like basketball courts. And when we want to play futsal, there was only 2 choices. One is because you see my canteen, there was this empty space near the canteen, so that was where most of the students play futsal at. Or not, we had to go to UTC. I think Merissa knows where UTC is, right? It's just like opposite. We had to go like UTC Pudu to like pay for the rental of the futsal court in order to play futsal just because we don't have a field.
I think
So like
if you come to my school,
that's one thing.
you'll protest for us. You know why? We have like fields, but we aren't allowed to even like go there without consent or anything like that. So it's really, really troublesome for us over there.
Which branch of were you in again? Is it the one that's near our current
No,
school?
Chiras. Further away.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one, but I've seen the one near here.
That's one thing many people think about like paid schools, no matter like private schools or international school, is that we get a lot of facility and better education, but actually we don't have that access to the facilities that we claim to pay for it. I mean, I don't know if you relate Keng Hong. I mean, you are from an international school, but you do pay for the facilities as well, right?
Okay, so I wanted to add on also a few things that you said also, yeah. Because like you said, better education also, but my school, because it's like a new school, right? It's only been open for less than 10 years. So it's not, there isn't really a big following. So, and also it's considered one of the more cheaper international schools you can find. So the teachers are, I can say are underpaid.
Hey.
But I don't know.
There? Hey, you're still there? Okay I mean, just for the context of the anyone who's listening this, basically me and Keng Hong are from the same, would I say mother school? Same from
mother school is the same, just like a branch off. It's a different branch you're in this school.
Yeah, it's just a branch off. Mine would be a national, mine is towards the national syllabus, whereas yours would be international.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's talk about like teaching quality, like what Merissa previously said, that when we have to pay for our education, we get better teaching quality, better studying quality.
No.
I mean,
It
do
doesn't
you
work like
agree
that.
with that?
Conceptually it's supposed to be like that.
No,
Conceptually, yeah, but then practically no, it wasn't. Because I mean, still,
I'm just
yeah,
giving
I know
a
what you mean.
direct no.
Because like say for my school, maybe for the more established schools, yeah, definitely you pay for what you get, more or less. But for my one, because it was a newer school, it was quite hard for them to get teachers to come at all. So a lot of my teachers have come and gone lah. So I know a lot of them that have come and gone. So but only like from what I remember, like one or two that have been here throughout. But the teaching quality doesn't mean it's better. The teachers can have there is an incident where they had to bring in an outside tutor because the subject teacher in the school wasn't cutting it. So you can imagine that's not how it's supposed to work. So yeah. So just because we pay for it doesn't mean it's always gonna be better. You pay for their, say, qualifications, but doesn't mean you will pay for how good they are at teaching most of the time also.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of like bringing in extra tutors from outside, I mean, another thing that we perceive is when you go to paid school, like private or international schools, one thing is that that is related to the teaching quality is that you get good focus so that you wouldn't have to go for extra tuition outside, right? That's one thing that we hear a lot because it's like I always hear people who study in government schools complaining about how they have to go for tuition, whereas if they went to a paid school they wouldn't have to go for tuition. But I mean, would you agree with that? Would you guys agree with that saying? Because for myself,
From my past experience.
for myself, I personally didn't go to any tuition because I was just lazy too. Okay, but most of my friends were actually going for tuition despite us paying few 10,000 a year, and they still had to pay for extra tuition outside.
Yeah, I agree with you because same for me also. I also actually went for tuition, and a lot of my friends also went for tuition also. Even though we still pay for the school fees, but it's still we had to go for tuition also.
Yeah, and also,
Yeah, Shiow Hui, you were saying?
so I was saying what you say just now about going tuition, right? Is that you go to tuition because you don't understand what's going on in the class, right? But when your teacher like realize you go tuition, they'll be like, "No, you don't have to go to tuition. Why are you going tuition for?"
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, one more thing is that I also went to tuition, right? The thing is, right, I don't remember which subject. I think it's a lot of subjects. The way they teach in school and from tuition is completely different because different teachers. They teach in different methods. And then when I use their methods in my school class, but I got the correct, for example, it's maths, I use their methods and I got the correct answer, my teacher is gonna be like, "Why are you using this method? It doesn't make sense. But you get the right answer, but you can't use this." And I'm like, "But I got the right answer. What do you mean? Why am I not giving you?"
And it's not just tuition. It's not just the difference between tuition teachers and also like the school teachers. I mean, I don't know if you can relate, but I heard another stereotype about like the Kebangsaan schools is that your teacher tends to change a lot. As in, for one subject alone, the teacher keeps changing a lot. Is that true?
For my school, they try not to change the teachers from Form 4 onwards. So we have the same teachers throughout Form 4 to Form 5. That's what they try to do. But recently, I think they don't have enough teachers. That's why they keep on changing. And also adding on to the tuition thing, right? I think for government school students, most of them go to tuitions, but actually, I myself, I didn't go for tuition for like when I was from 1 to Form 3 because I personally think the teachers actually, some teachers, that this is the stereotype that government teachers don't really care about their students and they don't help. But I actually think
Wait, wait.
for a school like mine, yeah,
Just
what?
in case, just a disclaimer, just in case government teachers are listening to this, we are not talking about you.
Yeah, it's just a stereotype. It's just a stereotype. I'm just here to clarify that I don't think all teachers are like that. For even in my school, there are actually quite a lot of sincere teachers who, if you go and ask them for help, they will actually help you. And also, even if you have questions or anything, right, and you did it in a tuition center kind of way, and when they see that it's correct, they would also accept it, not like what you all
It's
say.
completely different than ours.
So
Yeah, I haven't experienced that in high school life.
No, I had an experience where for my subject, my teacher wasn't really following how the textbook was going, so like we didn't really understand what was going on, and we couldn't really refer to the textbook. So some of my friends actually went for tuition, and what the tuition teacher taught was didn't really go well together with what my teacher taught and what the textbook was really saying. So imagine me having 3 conflicting sources of information to go on. So it was quite hard for that subject also, because the teacher one thing, book one thing, tuition teacher also one thing. So it's like 3 ways of don't know who to follow. It was very painful. Very painful. But that's a special case.
So, I mean, if we see from this, right, then the price, the price. I mean, I get what you mean by a special case, but if you look at this in terms of like whether you are paying for your high school education, it doesn't really matter in the sense that it doesn't matter whether you are paying or not paying for your education, because actually it really depends on how the teachers are actually doing their jobs, in the sense that whether they are actually being efficient
Yeah, I also
in
think it all
their
depends on
teaching
how passionate they
or
are
stuff
as a
like that,
teacher.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I mentioned just now, right? The one that had to bring in the outside tutor in. It's not like the teacher didn't have knowledge. It's just that she may not have known how to correctly teach the thing. Because from what I heard, she's actually really good at that subject. Just that she may not be very good at teaching the subject. See, teaching and knowing is very different also.
I'm actually not sure if this is the case for other private school, but for my case, in my school, private school, we had like teachers, a lot of them, not just like one or few, it's like a lot of them. They will say, okay, it's fine. You can bring the question in and ask them. But when we bring the question in, like we one-on-one go find them, or one big group we go find them, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. They just feel like they don't want to teach you. That's why like we just don't feel like motivated to study there. Yeah. For me, it's that situation.
I relate to that in the sense that I'm not saying all the teachers, because like in my school, my school had a class of about 25 to about 30 people, and then when it goes up to that's for Form 1, and then when it goes like higher, like Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, more and more people are actually leaving, so the number of people in the class are also decreasing. And in the sense that because my high school was known to be having a focused teacher to student kind of learning method, as in the sense that one of their marketing was that the students get a lot of attention from the teachers. But I don't really think so, because there are a portion of teachers who actually are passionate about teaching, as in whether they would actually put effort into things that we don't know to actually educate us and make sure that we know. But there are also a portion of teachers who actually don't really care, in the sense that when we have problems and we ask them, they wouldn't they wouldn't directly reject it, but they will make you feel a kind some as in like you should, yeah. They assume that you already know it, and when you portray that you don't understand the topics that they have taught in class, they will actually show like why are you so slow in class, or maybe it's like why are you not paying attention in class. But that's not always the case for the student, because there are some things that we just couldn't take up in class, because there are so many information that are being passed down to us every day. So there are teachers like that who actually feel like they are just there to complete their job, and it's not that they really
Yeah.
want to pass down their knowledge and also education to you. But does it happen in international school also, Keng Hong?
I can't really say because I never really went to ask much questions.
What about in like Kabang government school?
Okay, so what I think from what you all discussed just now, I don't think this teacher quality thing, it matters whether it's government school or an international school, because I think in my school itself there are a group of teachers who are really passionate and sincere about it, wanting to teach, whereas there's also this group of teachers just there for because it's their job. Yeah. And I know in my school, right, I've been taught by a few teachers that when we go and ask questions, they would answer, and also they would purposely like have extra learning classes for us after school, just to like teach us more before SPM. Like they didn't have to do that actually. Like they are not being paid or anything, but yeah, that's why it just depends on the teacher.
Yeah, just a shout out to all the teachers who are actually passionate in their jobs and also passing down knowledge to us. Thank you really much.
Yeah.
Um, but another stereotype that we all know: government schools, kebangsaan schools have a lot of discipline problems. The first thing my I hear parents tell each other, hey, send your son, send your daughter into private school lah, send them into international school lah. Hey, school ma, no discipline problem one. Later you send them to government school they will learn how to be bad. They learn how to smoke. They learn how to ponting sekolah. Is that true?
I want to add in.
Okay.
That's not true because my school has a lot of problems too. I have a lot of cases where let's say it's not really good lah. Not really good cases lah. It's not say fighting and all, but it's more of not fighting cases, but definitely bad habits, are quite common. So I wouldn't say it's exclusively between what school. It just depends on the students also, because this is not something that the school can really change. Sometimes it also really depends on how the students are, because I've had a discussion about this for a lot of times with many other people also. Like, it really depends on the students, because the school can't really do much if the students are also unwilling to do much about it. So it's really hard sometimes, because even if we want them to change, or you're trying to help them to change, they might not really want to change too. Really hard in that sense, because I've had quite a few people.
In international school, in an international high school, is the system more linear with discipline problems? As in, does your school takes discipline problems seriously? In the sense that, because I remember back in my high school when it was ran by my previous principal, Dato' Peter, shout out to you. Basically, when he was running a school, I remember he was actually quite strict in a sense on discipline problems, because we would all have to go into it every time when we committed a crime, where he always used to call it. We would have to we would have to visit his office, and then he would make us sit down around the meeting table, and we'll have to write reports about it, reflect on what we have done wrong. And rumors say that he has a stash of canes that he used to punish when you break like very serious rules. But I mean, does that apply to international schools as well? As in, how
No.
does international school handle discipline problems?
I can't say much for other schools, but my school was not that very strict, honestly. They tried, yes, they tried, but there wasn't really much you could do because like I had a previous teacher who when he dealt with discipline, he did it very well. But then now that he has left, the current teachers now are okay. They are strict, but then you know the type of teachers where they nag you a bunch and then you just give up trying to listen, or you just don't really care much already. Yeah, that's the kind of discipline teachers that I think they have now. So like from what I've gathered from my friends also, it's like they don't really respect that discipline teacher. They try to also, but then it's just that the way the teacher does it is not correct, because there is a way to do it that when you do it properly, people will respect you, people will follow the rules. But then if you do it not in the right way, people are just like whatever lah. They talk only lah. They wouldn't do much lah. They just don't really care.
But I mean, in Marissa's case, how does like your school handle with discipline problems? Because the stereotype of having a government school having a lot of discipline problems like bonding scholar, learning how to smoke, everything, makes it seem like government school don't actually deal with discipline problems. They just let it be there.
Okay, so first thing I want to say is that I'm from a girls' school, so naturally, maybe because girls won't go and do fights and all this stuff, so we are more disciplined, naturally disciplined, so we don't have much discipline cases, but when there is, they actually take it very seriously. Like, I think there was a case of vaping in school. I think people were selling vapes in school, so they had they went to check everyone's locker and all, and it's quite a serious thing in the school. And yeah, actually we are quite strict with our rules. Like even being late or like having long nails and socks, everything, just all the small things, right? They also take it very seriously. So like when anybody's being late, anybody is late, we have to actually stand on top of the stage to sing like the school song. And yeah, that's the punishment lah. Yeah, and yeah, we also have this
Okay,
merit demerit book thing. Have any of you heard of it before?
I have
Merit
Yeah.
demerit.
I
something
know what
like
that
merit
is.
demerit, but my one is like discipline file. So it's like every time, like like I previously mentioned, how we are made to like reflect on our mistakes and write a report on it. So it collects in your discipline file from Form 1 up to Form 5. So there will be people who have like empty that have discipline files that are empty, and there will be like people like me who have like 2-3 books of discipline files. So that's what happens.
Why so many?
Why so many? Same
What,
like
man, what did you do?
Bravo!
That one.
Okay, but so our merit demerit system is actually score based, so it's 100 marks. And if you go below, I think 50 or like 40, right, then you get kicked out from the school or something.
So like literally kicked out.
Yeah.
Oh, mine is like a warning letter thing.
Yeah, there's warning letters first, then only.
Mine is like you get to have 3 major warning letters before you are actually asked to go.
Same.
They say asked to go, but you know. That's what I if I'm not mistaken, that's what I personally heard from the principal. Yeah, so you'll be asked to go if you have more than 3 major discipline cases.
You'll be asked to go sounds like You're fired, but I wouldn't say you're fired, so you better walk out yourself.
Yeah, something like that. That was the idea behind it. I think that's what they said. Very funny.
But what about
The way
in
they said
three?
it.
Like how does take or handle discipline problems?
We do have the demerit system, but to be honest, for us, it feels like it's non-existent. Nobody feel it, so it doesn't work. Let's just say that. And then for us, it's like our school is like it's strictly for teachers. They are strictly not allowed to like physically punish us or anything like that. So maximum is the ruler hitting us. That's it. No caning, no nothing.
Oh, your school has the no caning policy.
Our school also don't have caning at all. You can't touch the student.
Okay, wait.
I mean,
Wait. Let's put high school aside. Everyone here went to Chinese primary school, right?
No,
yes.
I didn't.
I went to Chinese primary.
Okay, was caning a thing in Chinese primary school? Because I remember it was in mine.
All too common.
Oh, me and Keng Hong was from the same primary school.
Yes, exactly. Also,
But-
there was a lot. It wasn't rare. Every day
common
got
thing.
one at least.
Yeah.
So Shiow Hui didn't experience the caning bringing up education system.
No, only rulers. That's it. Maximum.
Wow, so lucky.
Oh yeah, I got
Nice.
caned until I have like this
Ooh.
blue black here, and it's so painful. It lasted for like 2 or 3
Hey,
days.
only once.
Yeah,
Only
only once.
once?
Cause I'm a good kid, man.
Okay.
I remember my primary headmaster he got a collection of
Oh,
cane,
wow.
you know. Every time go to see him, he'll say, okay,
Sounds like mine. Sounds like mine.
sit down, you choose which one you want. Literally, that's what
My
happened.
discipline teacher did that. It was so funny.
But I mean,
You choose which one you want. You still gotta just choose one.
the caning policy doesn't exist in my high school though, in the sense that I have a teacher when I was in Form 1. He technically didn't use a cane, but he uses like this very long ruler. And where he gets pissed off, he breaks like 3 rulers in a class. He breaks 3 rulers in an hour. He
Like hitting people.
Yeah. He actually like hit.
Your teacher got a lot of funding.
No, I mean not hitting as in violent hitting, as in hitting the palm lah. But there
I get
are
what you mean.
teachers also who I actually thank them in a sense that they were the ones who structured the disciplines in me, because like there were this few teachers who actually get like pissed off when my handwriting is bad, and they would actually tear books or either throw books into dustbin just to make sure you write it again nicely. So that's how my education system works.
Wow. Mine.
And then even in form
That hasn't changed me yet.
even in Form 4 and Form 5, there was this once I remember where the class was very, very hectic, and then my moral teacher actually brought in a cane. She actually brought a cane into class, and then everyone was like, "Hey, I thought no caning policy." And then she was like, "Do I look like I care?" But I mean.
You know my moral teacher?
Moral teacher lagi ya.
My moral teacher, she was like, because our class was really noisy and all that, but she's really good at like communicating and interacting with students. So she didn't bring a cane or anything. Instead, she brought sweets, handmade cookies and all that in, and she was like, okay, I give you guys you guys be quiet listen to me do your work Oh, actually everyone listened, so nice,
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
So nice.
I mean, my moral teacher didn't cane us lah. I mean, she brought in the cane as a
Yeah lah.
like to establish her superiority. You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, in one sense, that kind of education system actually shaped my discipline, which I'm actually very thankful for. But does that actually happen in international schools though?
Like what? Like what do you mean?
Like the kind of like establishing superiority kind of teaching.
Yes, but not in the way they did it. Not in the way you two had it. They were the so what we had was teachers trying to establish that, but then kids we all are can be quite rebellious that we don't care much So teachers try, but then they don't do it. They don't successfully do it, and it just doesn't help them at all. Rather than go up, it goes down. So teachers try. Some work, some do work. Yeah, I have had how many people? I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4. I can think of four teachers right now that have done it properly and have done it quite well.
For my side, right, I remember like we had this one really, really strict discipline teacher, and everyone was really scared of him. But a few years ago, he resigned, so he retired. So things changed ever since then. But before that, during his time, even though we had like this strict teacher, the only punishment that we had was like if we did something wrong, we would just go to the office room or whatever room, and then we would talk to the principal, and then he would talk to us, and then he kind of scold us and blah 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 blah. And then sometimes we have punishment like go to the stage and do stuff, or stay back and all that. It doesn't really work for us because they keep doing the same thing until we are like, that's it. Even the strict teacher, right? Even the strict discipline teacher, it got to the point where no one was scared of him. So he also changed his tactic instead, was that he got along with everybody. He got along in the sense that like everybody was scared of him, but they still wanted to talk to him because they really admired him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what one of my discipline teachers also did. Yeah, it was a really good tactic. Same with one of my other class teachers also. Yeah, it was very well done.
I mean, my high school ran on this fine system where when you commit or you breach some of the school rules, then you have to pay a fine of 1 ringgit. So it accumulates. Because it's like, I think it's there apparently to scare us that 1 ringgit is a lot.
It's not a scare.
Which I don't think is very effective because
No.
There was this 1 ringgit system was established for no vernacular thing. We weren't allowed to speak like Mandarin or any of our mother tongues except for English and also BM. But like 1 ringgit was quite little for many of the students there. I mean, 1 ringgit to me is a lot lah. My one day pocket money only 5 ringgit. Okay, so 1 ringgit to me was a lot. But I mean, like for the other students, since it is a pay school, right? They would have pocket money, so 1 ringgit towards them wasn't a lot. So I don't think that system actually worked. But I mean, does a system like that run in your school as well?
They tried, but didn't work. They gave it up.
For me, we did Form 4 and Form 5, only 2 years. But it wasn't like set by the school. It was set by a teacher. Our business and economic teacher is the same teacher. She was like, if you didn't bring your book, your files, you have to pay 1 ringgit. And actually, I was done with collecting the money, so yeah. Every time there was a lot at the beginning of the years, like just collecting money and all that. Yeah, and then I have to record down names, and then they actually have to sign it, like give them to sign it and then take the money. I was like so awkward. Thank you for obeying.
So did you curi take 1 ringgit every time collect? Every time collect from people, okay, 1 ringgit in the pocket. Second day, another 1 ringgit in the pocket.
Luckily, I have goodwill, so yeah.
But does this kind of system run in Merissa school?
Let me think. Actually, there is. I remember, like, for nails, 1 finger is 10 cents if you didn't cut your nails. And they'll let you, but that's, so if you have 10 fingers you didn't cut, so it's like 1 ringgit lah. But I don't think they care also.
I have very long
So,
nails.
because it's just like 1
Yeah, hey, Keng Hong could make your school rich, bring Keng Hong to your school.
But then they will force you to cut your nails in front of them.
Aiyo,
Yeah.
too bad lah.
Never mind, Keng Hong. Then Keng Hong will contribute 1 ringgit to the school every week.
Yeah, then my school can become rich really, yes.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hey, but like you said, those kind of systems wouldn't really work in my school. So, because Jeremy, and gang, they they're in my class. They're in my class. So, do you think that kind of system would run for them? They are very. And most of the thing they would do is just put deposit 10 ringgit and then go.
What deposit some more?
Right, don't you think? That sounds like something they would do.
Speaking of fine, what was your pocket money when you were high school? When you were in high school, starting with Shiow Hui?
I think a day, 10 ringgit, but then not every day though.
Wow.
Not every day. Yeah. And my food, the food in my
Wait.
school is very expensive. Okay, it's not cheap at all.
Okay. How much is lunch in your school?
Let's see. I think nasi lemak. Let's say nasi lemak or fried rice. At least 8 ringgit. At least.
Wow, why your canteen so atas
And the
one?
thing is that it's not even that nice, It's not even that delicious. So it's like I'd rather just drink the water or whatever. So
What?
Now I get the habit of like just it's okay, I can survive. I can just drink Milo and I'll be done with it. Get home, they only eat.
Oh, what the heck?
What about Keng Hong? How much did you get in?
Mine was also 10, yeah.
10 also?
Mine was also 10, but then because what?
It's about that range.
My God, yeah. My lunch can go up to 8, but normally it's 6, and then because sometimes sometimes I also would, because we actually have 2 breaks, our break and then our lunch, so I wouldn't normally get anything for the break time, but then for lunch it was normally 6, sometimes 7. So total, if I did order for break and lunch, it'll be 9 or so. It's quite expensive also.
What about Merissa? How much did you get for your pocket money?
5 ringgit, yeah. But
yeah, you
yeah,
get 5 ringgit. Why you
And
get
the
10
5
ringgit?
ringgit, how you can buy the 8 ringgit
Hey,
fried
Jeremy,
rice or whatever it is. Can't buy anything.
No. Okay, it works like that. When I got 5 ringgit, average of 5 ringgit. Because the food in my school was actually quite expensive as well. But students like me, we would go to play basketball for both break time and lunch time. So we would save the 5 ringgit, and it would accumulate to an extent where we want to hang out with our friends, and that's where the money comes from. So it's like we don't actually use it on food.
Our school is like
Oh, Jeremy, how much is your food though?
My food was hectic. It started with 5 ringgit, and then it went up to 6 ringgit, and then it went up to 7 ringgit for 1 tofu and some meat. Yeah, around there. It went down to 7 ringgit for that.
we're like opposite, Like I think like my batch, I guess you can say, we're like we don't like to exercise, and we are like complete like gluten. Like we cannot not eat on one lunch for them lah. So I was like, smart. Okay. But then it can also be because like, last time, like I said, we aren't allowed to go to the field or whatever without consent. So they kind of like just gave up on it and just got tired of asking anymore.
Oh,
It could be because of that.
for me actually
Who
also,
knows?
we also would want to play in the field sometimes, but then we also weren't allowed to. Like for you, Jeremy, you could go to the field, right? For us also, we would have gone to the field because a lot of people in my class, at least, were actually quite sporty. We would really want to go play on the field and stuff like that. Then we couldn't really go because we would still get scolded.
Right.
Yeah, same thing.
Let's talk about something else. High school is a place. Let's add some fire into this convo.
Sure.
High school is a place. High school is a place for drama.
Oh,
A lot of drama. No matter in girls' school, in boys' school, or in mixed school, confirm got
Yes.
Oh,
drama.
yeah.
You tell me your high school no drama, I don't believe. I'm interested in Keng Hong's one. I want to know how dramas in international schools sound like. Although I know a bit lah.
okay, let me think. I'm actually not sure. I didn't really keep up with much of the drama also. Just like I heard it and like okay, I heard it and that's about it.
Because like back in my school, there
Really
will always be this drama between the girls where they have like different groups, and then this group hit on this group hit on the other group group hit on this group for no reason one, you know.
Oh yeah.
Some of them they will come to me and complain because I was quite close with my juniors lah. I would say that I was quite close with them. Some of them will come to me and then they will complain,
my
hey,
school
you know
was small.
that who very bitchy one. She every time do this do that one. And then I'm like, what she done to you? Then she say, nothing, I just hit her face. I'm like,
Maybe it's a girl thing.
Yeah.
I really can't think of much. I know there is drama, but just maybe not to the extent where we have groups against each other.
and then another drama was this happens every year. There will also be a group of juniors who talk bad about the seniors, and then the seniors also will be pissed at the juniors, and then they will talk back at the juniors, and then the war goes on.
I just had that recently this year also, like, but I would early this year also. I think you also saw, Jeremy, or maybe some of you all also maybe saw because we showed it around that there was like there's some juniors talking about the seniors and some seniors defending themselves and stuff. I don't know. I wasn't involved, but it looked so tiring just to scroll through all the different stories. Oh, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. All very baseless. What I can say what happened now, because what I remember was that they didn't really like how their attitude was, because like they were all very, I guess in their sense very punk or something like that. Like, they just didn't like how they were acting and stuff like that. They were very, easygoing. I don't know. It seemed like they just didn't like them because they were for some very odd reason. It's not very big. Doesn't really have a lot of base. But yeah, they just started talking shit about them. Then the year 11 started defending themselves and then started talking bad about our juniors because there are some problems with my juniors because they are sometimes not the most best at, they're quite spoiled.
Do dramas like that happen in your school though, Merissa?
It's a very common thing. Like since I was from 1 already, there's already this thing. And also like you also said about how like you also said about how juniors like seniors and all this stuff, right? I also was one of those junior that like admire those seniors and like talking about them, but in a good way.
No, I mean the admire part is good lah, but then what about the hating part?
Yeah, there's also the hating part. Like
So you're involved also lah?
no, I don't hate. Okay, just for anyone listening out there, no, I don't hate anyone. Yes, but then I think the seniors in my school, they actually most of it take it quite seriously about this junior hate thing. Like when the juniors hate them or disrespect them, they take it very seriously. Like an example is I'm in band, right? And they will actually gather everyone, like a meeting like that. Then they will go in front and they will lecture all the juniors, saying like talking about disrespectful and how it can't be disrespectful to the seniors and all this. And then
But I mean, they talk nicely, right?
it's like a lecture, it's like a teacher, the senior is like being a teacher and talking to the juniors, and then the juniors all just sit there and listen. Then they just like okay lah. So yeah, that's about it.
I know exactly what this is because it's happened before in my St. John's. I asked them because I'm the committee member, and also it was the other committee member that was lecturing. And I was like, just stop. There's no point. Because like our juniors didn't really aren't passionate about it, and they're forced to do in all this uniform. So like they don't give much, and so my fellow committee member was very pissed off about it. Then he started scolding them. I was like, no, stop. There's no point. You're only gonna make it worse. Come back. Or I'll actually run. I actually really wanted to run him over when he started to walk towards them.
Whoa,
Imagine me
wait.
wanting to run someone down.
Whoa, wait. What do you mean by run him over? I don't want I don't want the FBI come knocking on my door.
Heckle him.
No violence.
No, like I really needed him to stop. There was no point. He was inciting more hate than he was respect.
Choice of words, bro.
Yeah, but some senior shares are not. Run him. As in myself running towards him, not with a car.
Okay. Justifiable.
I haven't learned to drive yet. Then
So like in continuation from the junior to senior whole dispute, the senior versus junior dispute because most of the stereotypes formed today are seen in the perspective of the current high school students, which also affect us where I wouldn't say just graduate, but I mean it's just been like 1 or 2 years being graduating from high school. I'm sure that we still hold a lot of high school memories with us to an extent. But how do you guys think that the high school students nowadays differ from us back in the past?
my school, particularly, it because we had starting from starting from year 9, they started accepting people who were standard 5 I guess you could say, from standard 5, and so they would skip a year, they would skip their standard 6, and they would come for year 7. So things like that happening, and for me, I felt like there was a lot of people who were very immature coming along. If not say immature, so then also some of them were quite spoiled also. So that really increased the conflict in school because they are quite prone to like, oh, I deserve this or something or mighty attitude, that kind of thing. So that one helped. That one increased a lot of the conflict, I guess, very petty conflict. So image not so good, but then for like the people, for like us the more our year, that kind of thing. The students are much more. Actually, no, I can't say that. Never mind. No, I can't say that we are more better also. It's not better also. What's the word? We are
different.
we have some restraint. My year has some restraint on what they have. Some restraint, yeah. They not to like what they will fight about, what they won't fight about. They won't go for petty fights. They just like the small things. They just like give it up. They don't really care. But then for like my juniors, from what I've seen, they jump on a lot of things. They start really petty fights. From what I've seen now. Sorry, my friends, but it's what I've seen. If you're watching, you can come talk to me. It's cool. We can talk it out.
Shiow Hui, what would you think of the current high school generation?
I think quite similar to what Keng Hong has said. Maybe it's because I'm from a private school. Maybe it could be that's why. But my juniors, I feel that my juniors are like spoiled, and to a certain extent, some of them are talented and all that, so it's fine. But sometimes they get really, if I'm gonna be honest, like really direct. Like usually when you come into the door or whatever, you usually say hi or whatnot, right? Nowadays you rarely see that.
and the way they talk to their elders as well or whatnot. I know it feels like we don't give a shit and all that because, you know, like who cares, right? But then the younger generation, like the really younger generation, junior generation, it feels like because they don't have that, so they don't know how to appreciate or value things. You know?
Yes, I've had that.
Yeah.
I actually have a story for that because during one of my, this is a story I heard during one of our scout camps, one of the juniors they said they couldn't really sleep properly or something like that. So the parents came to pick the student up to bring the person home to sleep, and then they said they will bring them back the next day. So I was like, the parents are so very like too protective nowadays. Also, I feel because that's why they're spoiled.
Yeah, I think it's because of that. That's why like a lot of them thinks that, you know, oh, there's no consequences to that. I can just continue to do it. My parents are there to protect me. Why not? Kind of thing.
Okay, so aside from the being spoiled thing, they try to look mature. They try, but then they are still young. That's why they have the young mentality. So they're still actually immature, but they try and they want to look mature. That's why they do these swearing things. They also show disrespect to us because they want to look like they are on the same level or above us. That's why they they don't respect us lah. And also like they also have a lot of already like 13 years old, 14 years old, all also have relationship
Yeah.
problems and all these things.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna be really, really direct for us, is that I feel like the juniors nowadays, kids actually, I feel like they are very, very, very than us. I don't know why. Like it's fine you have relationships and all that, but actually intersexual things are happening, and I'm like, I haven't even done that or anything like that. What the hell is happening in the sport right now? And how old are you? What are you doing?
Well, but I got to say that despite the negative things they do that look in a sense mature, but it is a process of growing up, like how all of us today here have been through it once in our lifetime. So it's still an A for effort.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Coming to the end of today's show, any advices for like the high school students of today?
From me, it would be that if you guys think that you guys need help, do reach out to people near you. Because I feel like sometimes, you know, if you have barriers, you feel like you get embarrassed or whatnot, just ignore that. I think it's best for you to come and ask people and listen to what you have, your problems and whatnot. They may not be able to give you the best advice, but just knowing that someone is listening to you, you'll feel comfortable.
Yeah, so I think to all the high school kids, just enjoy your time as high school children. Yeah, enjoy your time before you get old. Yeah.
Take it easy. Don't take everything too seriously. It's stressful, yeah, but then just like, you know, take it easy.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for listening and also staying with us on this episode. And also a huge shout out to Merissa and also Shiow Hui for joining us on this discussion. We will be on Spotify and YouTube and many other more platforms in the future. Subscribe to us and also give us a like. Follow us on our Instagram page at uncover_sessions, and all our Instagram holdings will also be in the description. See you in the next episode.